up people, it's your boy Jay Sean, and I am very, very happy and proud to be part of Make the Link Be the Change. And it is down to you guys, alright? I know you all can always think, oh, we'll leave it to the next person to sort it out. This is your earth. See, the thing is, in my job, all I ever seem to do is talk about me, and my album, and my this, and my single, and it gets it becomes like you almost don't care about anything else but yourself, and you become self-absorbed, and I don't like that about my industry. And so the one thing that I like to try to do is get involved in other things, other projects, and especially things that I think are worthwhile. And the world and the climate, even though it's one thing that we sort of pretend not to think about, like, oh, it's alright, someone else will sort it out. It's down to us, and it's definitely down to people like myself who have an opportunity to reach out to the kids, to set a bit of an example and sort of say, come on guys, we've got to do it, if it's down to you now, you know? So that's why I want to get involved. I definitely think climate change is happening, you know, and what's pretty scary is that it's happening in our existence now. We are here witnessing it, and it's not like, you know, it's something we're going to see 50 years from now. Already in 2000, you know, it's 2009, and already like the 9 or 10, I think there was I read somewhere that like the 10 hottest years have been in the last decade alone. And so that means, you know, the temperature of the Earth, we know, has gone up, I think, 0.7 degrees Celsius in the last 100 years. The ice caps, as they say, are melting, and the amount of sea ice is less, and, you know, the thickness of it is less as well, which means that, of course, the sea level is rising, and all this kind of stuff is happening in our era, which is pretty scary, because it means that in the next 50, 60 years, there could be flooding of certain areas of the UK. You might see some areas which are completely flooded. So yes, it's very real. Well, you know, as I said, I think I've started to notice, definitely more and more in the last 3 years, all this climate stuff, TV adverts, billboards, just celebrities and people from TV personalities talking about it. This is obviously, it's always moving in the right direction, and I think 2009 is probably going to be a big year for that anyway, just because technology is improving so much as well. And now I'm seeing a lot more smart cars on the road and all this kind of stuff, and they're talking about how they can run cars on stuff other than, you know, just gas and stuff like that, you know. So I think it's going to be a good year for us, and if they've only got 1 year to try to reach that goal, then, you know, they better start getting some of that CO2 out of the air, you know what I mean? Thing is, I actually don't get a chance to drive much. However, if Smart were to offer me a car free, I would gladly drive it. Convertible would be nice, you know what I'm saying? I used to plant trees when I was in school. Of course, I had my own little garden. The thing is, actually, in my house, I got a really nice big garden with a couple of trees, and for me, greenery, I really like it. You know what I mean? I like sort of sitting outside, chilling out, having a cup of tea in the morning, and not when it's freezing cold, but you know, on a summer day, it's really nice. And so my garden's very green, actually. So I do like that. My favourite environmental song, what was it? My cousin the other day came home singing the 3 R's by Jack Johnson. Have you heard it? I didn't know what it was first. I thought it was like a nursery rhyme or something. And I was like, what are you singing? And he was like, yeah, you know, it's Jack Johnson. And I went, what? Jack Johnson wrote that. It's really cool. It's called Reduce, Recycle and something. I can't remember what it was. But it's really cool. Reduce, reuse and recycle. That's it. And that's Jack Johnson. So there you go. See, I don't think pop artists are promoting being wasteful. I don't think they're going out there actively going to the kids, hey kids, make sure you know, increase your CO2 emissions as much as possible and destroy the earth. I don't think they're promoting being wasteful. I just don't think they know that, you know, driving around in those blingy cars and this, that and the other, you know, they're not thinking about it. It's a lifestyle. You have to understand that being a pop star, a lot of it has to do with image. And especially with urban music, with R&B and hip hop, part of that image is your cars and your rims and motorbikes and stuff like that. Now, let's just break this down, alright? Imagine for 1 second, 50 Cent, on a bicycle. Do you know what I mean? Going down the road. It's not really what you're expecting to see from him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I mean, people will go, that's a little bit weird. So it's an image that he's trying to uphold by being in these cars. He probably doesn't even drive them because he's too busy. A lot of the time that they're getting, you know what I mean, they're getting driven around, or they're, you know what I'm saying, they're not, it's not as if they're actively trying to promote it. So I just don't think that they realise, you know. Well, if you think about the number of people who come down to a music concert, if you had a venue which was located next to a train station, for example, I know for a fact I'd much rather go by train. And you know when you have things like Notting Hill Carnival, I don't go by car. I mean, it's too long, and there's traffic and stuff like that. I'd go on a train, you know what I mean? And the thing is, I actually love using public transport. It's alright, you know what I mean? It's a lot more convenient. So I think maybe perhaps doing somewhere nearer a train station would get a majority of those people going on a tube instead of driving their hundreds of cars around, you know? See, I live near Heathrow, alright? And I have an aeroplane going over my roof every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes. To the point when people come to my house and they hear they're like, oh my god, and they notice that I'm immune to it now, but they will notice that every 2 minutes. So no, I don't want more planes going over my head, thank you very much. And also, the tiles on my roof keep falling down, and yeah, they do. And that's like, across the runway path, all of the roofs, you see the tiles just keep coming loose because of the vibrations and stuff like that. And the CO2 emissions from there, why do we need more? They're going to destroy a whole village to put up the new, like, wipe it out to put a new a runway in there. So I just think that's a little bit selfish, isn't it? Man, there's loads we can do, you know, and the thing is, a lot of the time we don't do it because we think, oh, that's long, I'm not going to do that, that's long. But it's little changes. No one's asking you to trade in your, if you got a nice car that you like, and yes, it would, as I said, if you want to get a bicycle or walk, some people might go, no, I'm not doing that, it's long. But you don't maybe necessarily need to go to that extent, but do little things, like switch off your TV at night, take it out the thing, you know what I mean, out the socket when you're not watching it. You know, turn down your thermostat by just 1 degree, and that's going to save so much energy. Little things like, I didn't even know this, if you insulate the walls of your house, cavity wall insulation is actually so cheap, but it reduces your heat, the amount of heat that escapes your house by 50%. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the energy we waste is to heat the house up, especially in England, it's so cold and rainy, you know. So little changes like that. Walk more. I like to, as I said, I like to walk and stuff like that. But that's the extent I'd go to. If you can't be, you know, if you don't want to do those things, do little things. Turn the tap off when it's dripping. Don't wait. Do you know what I mean? Don't be wasteful. And you know, buy those energy-saving light bulbs. You know, I know they don't look as trendy and as fashionable as the other ones, but you know what I mean. It's not a big deal if they're hidden. You know what I mean? If you've got a lampshade over it, just buy one of those. Simple.